Alright, what is up guys, Snack God here, back for another video. And a couple days ago, earlier this week, they were asking me what I should be doing to hire my employees, how should I trust them, and what do I teach them to make sure they know how to sell and get them better at selling. Because in the beginning, all employees are just regular people just starting out, kind of like how we started out. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this video, so I got my friend Wesley with me. You've seen him in a couple of videos before, also known as my cameraman.
Yes.
Yeah, so today, he's going to be my example, kind of like my employee, what I'll be telling him, like in a situation. I'll give you guys examples. So what I want to start with is how you want to hire employees. So let's get something to represent. We're going to use these as tokens, alright? We're going to have these as like candy bars. So first, we'll begin with the first step is how to find an employee. Now, you can find employees pretty much anytime as long as you have people you trust. Alright, you can start looking in your groups of friends, people who are in your class, or just people in school that you have talked to. But you want to make sure that you have a hold of them and they're always active on their phone or some way you can always like make contact, because if you have something important and they're not like actively responding, then they may be missing out and they may not be a good employee to hire, because you know they're not listening and they're not being a good employee. So let's say I do hire him and he's my friend and he happens to want to make money, alright? And he's asking me questions about how to sell. So first step you want to do is make sure the person is able to know all the prices. So if I give him one of these tokens, alright? Let's say I have 2 candy bars right here. Each one of these is like, let's say a Kit Kat. And there's another different thing. And this 50-cent coin right here is a bag of chips. Now, if he knows the prices right, then he'll be able to sell just like me. But if he's messing it up and he's selling this for the same price of the candy, then he's overcharging and no one's going to want to buy from him. So we want to make sure that we let our customers know we're part of the same company, part of the same team. Or else they're going to be like, oh, this guy has better prices, let's not go to him. So like, that's how it's going to work, right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So now that he knows the prices, you want to teach him how to sell. And you want to make sure your friend doesn't have any like social awkwardness problems. So let's say you have this as your chip. You want to sell this to me.
Okay.
And I'm a customer.
Alright, sir, would you like to buy a bag of chips?
I don't have any money.
Well, you can pay me back tomorrow.
I'll pay you back.
You want it?
Next year. I'll pay you back next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's what happens. So if your employee does get into that situation, I highly recommend that you don't let people owe you in the beginning when you start selling, because your boss may not like it, and people may not like, you may not trust people yet just because you have started out, and people think they can take advantage of you. There's like a little glare. Hold on, I'm gonna close the blind. They may think they can take advantage of you because you just started and like you trust people, so don't let that happen to you. Alright, so this is the test of not being socially awkward, and he's able to approach groups. And we do have something like this. So he goes to school every day, and what you will need to do is, just like every candy seller, you will need to give him a bag. Now personally, he can use whatever bag he does thinks works best for him. Like, what do you think will work best for you?
You have a double bag, don't you, right?
Yeah.
So I think something like that.
Okay.
Maybe
Something
if you
you
want to be like more discreet, maybe a lunchbox.
Yeah, something you can like carry on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so when you find the perfect bag for your employee, make sure you don't give him too much stuff at first, because again, the first part is still the trust test. If you give him too much stuff, make sure you keep track. So let's say I have a bag of candy right here, and it's 15 candy bars. If he comes back to me at the end of the day with $10 but no more candy bars left, there's obviously 5 candy bars missing, or $5 in products, and obviously he's either stealing them, he's eating them, or something's wrong with it. So the trust test is make sure you give him enough to remember how much you gave him, and he should come back to you with the same amount of money that he would sell it for, right? So like, you know, I'm gonna give him this whole bag of candy from me.
Okay.
And if he comes back with like $1,
I'm gonna disappear.
and he comes back with $1, and he's like, yeah, I sold everything, Brendan. And he was like, how much you sell everything for? He was like 10 cents. I was like, oh man, no wonder why we lost everything.
Oh.
So that's not how it's gonna work. So you want to trust him by testing him of the amount of products he can sell. You want to test his ability to sell, and now we're gonna work on to how you pay him. So, all right, how much do you want to get paid?
Is this a salary, or am I getting paid by the bag of chips?
How much do you think you should get paid?
Per hour?
Yes.
Maybe like $5 an hour at first.
Alright, now that's where you go wrong. So most people assume that when you're hiring them, it's gonna be a regular job, paid hourly or paid weekly. But this is actually by commission. So commission means how much they sell is basically scaled on how much they get. So what I have my settings as is, I think it's pretty solid. You should always do 30% commission. So 30% on what they make for the business or for you is basically what they'll get back in return. So if you make $300 from me during this restock, right? And that means I will give you $90, because you always, I don't know if you guys know this, it's pretty simple math, but you just divide everything by 10 and then times it by 3, which is how you get 30%. So he would get $90 if he makes $300 from me. Now that's a good area to scale it because most of my products don't exactly double, and he's not getting 30% of everything we made. He's getting 30% of what he made only. So it's fair to each individual person. And if you have multiple employees, that won't interfere with each other because they make different amounts, and therefore it will never be like too much to the point where we have to cut into the restock to give them some money. All right. So let's say you're ready to fill on your first day of school, and you're ready to stock up.
All right.
What do you think you should do to get your stock? Do you think you should have a backup locker?
I think I should just start off with my locker at first, and then if you trust me enough and I get to like work my up in the company, I should get a backup locker maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe more bags.
So one thing I do have questions about is like, how do you trust people not to steal from your locker? That's a really common question, and it's a good one. I understand why you guys asked that. So what you do is, you don't let them have access to your lockers until they finish the 3-day intern period. Now this is what I start with. So you guys know the interning idea. What it basically is, they follow you around, they learn how to sell. It's the same thing for jobs, except it's for my candy selling. So this is a really essential policy that you have. Make sure you tell the person you're hiring that I need to intern you for 3 days, and make it clear with them that during those 3 days, they're not getting paid and they're working for you for free, but to learn experience and so that you can trust them. After those 3 days, if they pass your expectations, it could be different for everybody. But for me, it was that they had to make $15 every day of that week, or every day of those 3 days. And if they do pass that, and they show me that they're doing well and they're not stealing anything, then I will give them access to my locker. But for me, it's not as a big deal because, you know me, I have like a lot of lockers to switch from. So even if they know the lock, I can just easily switch the lock with another one, and then like I'm kicking them out. They're going away forever. So I hope that answers most of your questions. Now let's think about what else we have. So we covered how to hire people, who to look for.
Mm-hmm.
We covered how to train them, and we covered how to pay them. Now, in terms of long term, I would recommend having one employee in every grade because you are only one person. You can only do so much in one day, in one lunch, one brunch, or whatever you may have at school called. And you're not going to be able to walk around school selling to every person, every grade. And to maximize your profit you earn, you want to be able also to carry more stuff too. So this is where you're coming in. You have to hire people from every grade. Now, we are juniors, right? Yeah, we're juniors. Mm-hmm. I'm not a special ed now.
Now
we have to hire people in freshman, sophomore, and senior grade. Now what this does is it puts multiple people positioned throughout the school. That way, like if you have people in this hallway or people in the cafeteria or people in the courts, you always have someone to sell to people in that area. So they don't have to come all the way looking for you. You don't have to come walking all the way to them, and therefore you will have even amount of snacks distributed to everybody, maximizing profit because each one of them can sell for you and save you time and your effort. You can enjoy and relax more by staying in a controlled area and having a routine. So, after all that, do you think that the employee should have a routine they follow? That doesn't interfere with other people? Because my business has a problem sometimes. At the beginning when it started, where my employees were like fighting over who got this area because it was like really good for money. It was like this corner of the school is where everyone bought from them. So they were fighting and like, okay, should we share the days or should we have our own rotation? So I would say it's pretty important to create your own rotation, you know?
So you're rotating people through the areas?
Yeah. Like, you know how like you should have your own designated area you kind of like monitor and patrol? One of my employees, he does this where he starts from the cafeteria and he moves around the gym and he moves to the basketball courts and he circles back to the hallway. And then my other one, he starts from the corner where the freshmen sit and he goes around center court, but on the outside of it. And then I have an area where I just stay at center court when I go to my locker. And in the hallway where my locker is, I kind of walk back and forth sometimes. And most of the time, I wouldn't be selling there because I just don't have enough time. Like, when the bell rings, I'm already still at my locker because everyone's just coming to my locker last minute. They're always rushing in. And I have to open my locker many times a day, so we don't have time to waste for that. But do you have any questions for me? So let's say you're an employee, and I'm just like telling you the stuff I told you. Do you have any other questions that you might have considerations?
I think you should teach your employees what to do if like they get caught by a teacher or like administrator.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so what to do if you get caught by someone higher up, like an administrator or a teacher, some kind of staff at your school that is being an asshole, all right? So let's say he's walking down the street one day and some big black guy says, "Give me all your food. Give me all your food, or I'm not gonna, or I'm gonna tell on you." What are you gonna do? Are you gonna like give him your food, or are you gonna get snitched on?
I mean, the company comes first, so I probably give him the food.
You're gonna give him the food.
Is that what you would think?
First of all, yes, you would give him the food because in a situation like that, you're kind of in a lose-lose situation. Either you lose money but you lose your business. So I'd rather lose some money and give him some food and then try to find a way to not let that happen again, rather than sacrificing the business and snitching on other people. Because if the school does catch you, they're going to ask you questions, they're going to interrogate you, and they're going to like see if they can crack you and give out information to them. So what if the school asks you, are you working for someone else? What do you say?
You always say no.
I always say no. What about if they ask you, are you selling?
You always say well, if they know you're selling, then you can say you're like doing a fundraiser for your club. And I think that's like the first thing you should say. It's everyone kind of goes by that. So no one's gonna suspect that you're actually pocketing the money.
Okay.
So,
and then what if they don't know that you're selling? Are you gonna say you're selling?
If they don't know, then they're probably gonna look into it and find out anyway.
Okay.
So I probably still say.
Let's say they catch you one day and you haven't sold out yet, and you have a big duffel bag of chips. Here, let's open this up. And you have a big duffel bag of chips and you haven't sold out yet, and they're like, "Let me search your bag." How are you gonna play? How are you gonna play this off? What are you gonna tell them? What excuse are you gonna give them?
I'm pretty hungry today.
All right. So what I would say is there really is no good or best way to give it out, or to give an excuse for this. Because look how much this is. If you get caught with this, you're 99% of the time screwed. But here are some things that you could say. Be like, I have a party after school for a potluck, or it's for a after school, like I'm giving it away to my friends as like a celebration.
So just after school, because they don't have any jurisdiction over that.
Yeah. Or you could be like, it's for a potluck during class. But they don't really care about that because no one really cares about your classes.
Yeah.
And the last but not least, you could just be like, I bought this and I wanted to leave it in my locker for snacks. Alright, that would be the last one. If honestly, that probably is the worst one. But it might work depending on some schools. I bought this and I want to leave it in my locker for snacks so that I don't have to go buy stuff when I'm hungry. Alright? That's what I would do. Okay, now let's say the school has caught you twice now. And the second time you
get fired.
You're like, fuck, man. Do you think you should get fired at that point? Or do you think you should still sell on the low?
I think you should like kind of lay low for a little bit. Because they're going to be obviously watching you now. They've seen you sell 2 times.
Yeah.
So then now they know something's up. So they're going to be watching you. You're going to probably have to stop selling for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But I think if it's an employee, I think it should be their decision whether they want to keep working or not.
Yeah. Okay. So now we covered how to get caught. If you have any more questions, I'll cover up the last topic. Do you have anything else that you think we should add?
I think you should read the comments on this video.
I'll read the comments on this video.
I got nothing.
Alright, so now my last topic is how to reward your employees. Now, I have an employee milestone system where if every time they make a certain amount of money for the business, I start at $300, that's the lowest one, they'll get benefits. Like a real job, they obviously have benefits, but mine are different because I'm not a fucking real job. But anyways, the first benefit is that they get snack credit every week. So if they reach $300, they get $2 of snack credit, meaning they just take whatever they want and for personal consumption to give away to their friends, but $2 worth. And like if they get to $500, they get more money and they get like a day off, which meaning that they don't have to work for one day, and that day I automatically default account they make like a certain amount of money, like $20. I'll automatically just count as they make $20 that day without having to do anything. And it's good for them because they don't have to work all the time and they still get a little bit of pay. Whereas if you do make a lot of money though, I would reward them more. Like if they make $1,000 for the business, I'd be like, oh, you get like the paid weekend once a month and you get like $5 of snack credit every week. So they feel more rewarded and they feel have more incentive to work and acquire more money, you know? Acquiring the currency is very important. Alright, that's all about it for this video. I want to wrap it up because it's actually kind of long. It's 14 minutes. It's going to take me like 3 hours to upload. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. This video, I taught you guys how to hire your employee, how to teach them, and how to not get caught from them. And hopefully you guys find this useful. I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace out.
See ya.